In today's video, we're going to talk about, does your stay-at-home spouse need life insurance? Now, if you're the breadwinner of the family and maybe you're out there working 40 or 50 hours a week, and thankfully you have a partner that's willing to stay home and take care of the kids and take care of some of the household chores, the question is, should you get life insurance on them? So in this video, we're going to talk about, should you get life insurance on them, why you might want to get life insurance on them, and how much life insurance you should get on them. What's up, guys? For those of you who do not know me, my name is Philip Sutter. I'm the founder and CEO of Affinity Life, which is an online life insurance platform here in Canada, where you can actually view quotes from various different companies across Canada and apply 100% online without the need to have to talk to an advisor or have someone come to your home or fill out a lengthy paper application. So if that sounds interesting to you, I will put the link in the description below and you can check that out. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So before we get into whether or not your spouse needs life insurance, let's talk about just the purpose of life insurance and the different types of life insurance. So really, in my opinion, the purpose of life insurance is to protect your loved ones if something were to happen to you. So a really easy question of whether or not you need life insurance is, if I were to pass away, would the loved ones in my life be financially impacted? If the answer is yes to that, well, then you need life insurance. If the answer is no to that, well, then you probably don't need life insurance. That's a really easy test that you can do on yourself. Now, there's different types of life insurance that you can apply for, and it can be a little bit daunting because there's so many companies and there's different policies and there's different types and riders and term and permanent. Let me break it down for you very simply so you understand. Term life insurance you can get in various different lengths. So you could get a term 10, a term 20, or a term 30. It's the most inexpensive option. In my opinion, it's the best option for the majority of Canadians to protect their loved ones for a very specific time. So maybe you just started a family, maybe you bought a house, maybe you got a good job, maybe you bought a car, you had children, you are now building a family. And if something were to happen to you during that period, well, your family would be very financially impacted and they would need help. As you get older and we play this situation out, 40, 50, 60, well, what happens? Our kids now start to move out of the house. We start to accumulate investments. We start to pay down our debt. We hopefully pay off our car and pay off all our high interest credit card debt that we wouldn't be leaving behind to our spouse if something were bad to happen to us. Now the need for life insurance really starts to reduce to maybe a potential zero at that point, and you can cancel your policy altogether. So term life insurance, in my opinion, is the best to cover that. It's for a very specific period of time, and it's incredibly inexpensive. And again, you can go to affinitylife.ca and check quotes instantly for term life insurance. Permanent life insurance, on the other hand, is meant to cover you until death. Permanent life insurance is best used for individuals that maybe want to leave something behind for their children or their grandchildren, and they're looking, well, what's the best way to do that? Life insurance is a great way to do that. And the third thing, permanent life insurance is a really great option for individuals looking at estate planning. Maybe you know there's going to be outstanding taxes upon death. Maybe you have a second home, which is going to be taxed, but you wanted to leave it behind to your children. Maybe it's a vacation home or some type of vacation property that's going to be taxed, and you need to have some liquidity at death to prepare for that. So permanent life insurance is a really good option for that. However, you may have heard of investing in life insurance, getting permanent life insurance, because not only does it cover you for, that specific period of time, but then you could use it as an investment during retirement. Now, I will say this. I think for the vast majority of Canadians, that's a very bad idea. If you don't already have your RSP, your TFSA, max, and all of your high interest credit card debt paid off, don't even look at this. It's a very complicated strategy with a lot of strings attached, and a lot of things can go wrong. And in my opinion, it is reserved for the people that already have their RSP max, they already have their TFSA max, the high income earners of Canada. It might make sense for them, and it might be a really good option for them. But for the vast majority of Canadians that, still have to put money into their RSP, they don't have their TFSA max, they have outstanding debt, and they're just starting and they want to find an affordable option to cover them for a very specific period of time, term life insurance is the best option. Now let's talk about whether or not your spouse requires life insurance. Okay, well, in my opinion, the main purpose of life insurance is really replacing the income of an individual, okay? And protecting the family, or protecting your family if you were to pass away and they would be financially impacted. That makes sense. When you're looking at the spouse of the family that's a stay-at-home spouse, they're taking care of the kids, they're taking care of the house. Maybe they're not bringing in an income. Maybe they are, and it's part-time, they're doing some part-time work, but maybe they're not bringing in an income. Now you're not replacing the income, however, you're replacing the service, okay? While you'll never replace, obviously, the love that they bring into the house and your partner, there are some things that unfortunately you will need to outsource and you will need to hire if they were to unfortunately pass away. So, I mean, they're one, taking care of the kids, they might be taking care of the house, they might cooking up the meals of the house, and all these services would add up if they were to pass away. Because if they were to pass away, you still need to go to work. You still need to go and provide for the family. And so now you need to hire out these other services to replace what your spouse was doing at home. So there is a need for life insurance. It might not be as much as your need for life insurance, the breadwinner of the family, the income earner of the family, but it's still going to be a decent amount. I mean, you can start to add up what that would cost. If you think about it, well, what does a nanny cost? What does daycare cost? What does a house cleaner cost? What does cooking meals cost? Some of these things you might be able to get family to help you with. Some of these things you might be able to do yourself at that point. However, there is going to be some things that you are going to need help with. So just a general rule of thumb, let's say $20,000 to $40,000 a year for the next 10 years. That equals, let's say, $200,000 to $400,000. So anywhere in the $200,000 to $500,000 range, I think, in my opinion, is a really safe estimate. If something were to happen to your spouse, unfortunately, that would at least provide you with some liquidity to replace a lot of those services that they're bringing into the household. Now, of course, it's not going to replace the love and the companionship and the motherly figure or fatherly figure that's staying at home with the kids, but at least it will just give you a little bit of help you outsource some of these services, get a little bit of help around the house, and at least then at the end of the day, you have one less overwhelming stress to think about while you're going through this difficult time. So I hope that answered a lot of your questions about whether or not your stay-at-home spouse needs life insurance. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And if you guys are enjoying this content, all I ask is that you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.